Capricorn. July 29th isn't just another full moon, it's the moment your long-awaited miracle could finally arrive. But only if you recognize the signs before it's too late. For months you've carried burdens, waited patiently, and wondered when life would finally change. The buck full moon is bringing powerful energy directly into your path. Stay until the end, because the final message may reveal the miracle you've been praying for. 1. Why July 29th is spiritually different for Capricorn. Capricorn, welcome. If you found this video today, it wasn't an accident. The universe has a strange way of placing exactly the right words in front of exactly the right soul at exactly the right time. And today, that soul is you. Let's talk about what's actually happening above your head tonight. The buck full moon rises on July 29th, and for centuries this moon has carried a very specific meaning. It was named for the season when a stag's antlers reached their fullest growth, a symbol of strength that was quietly built over time, hidden beneath the surface, invisible to everyone except the one carrying it. Sound familiar, Capricorn? Because that's exactly what you've been doing. While the world was distracted, while others were posting their highlight reels, you were in the background, working, enduring, rebuilding. Nobody saw the hours you spent doubting yourself at 2 a.m. Nobody saw the quiet strength it took to keep showing up on the days you wanted to give up. But the universe saw, and the universe remembers. This full moon lands in a way that speaks directly to your sign's ruling energy. The energy of mastery, patience, and earned reward. Capricorn doesn't rush. You were never built for shortcuts. You were built for foundations. And a full moon under this kind of sky doesn't reward the people who moved the fastest. It rewards the people who stayed the most faithful. That's why this lunar event feels different. If you felt an unusual heaviness in your chest lately, followed by strange bursts of hope you can't quite explain, that's not confusion. That's your spirit sensing a shift before your mind can even understand it. Some of you have felt restless sleep. Some of you have felt a pull to change something. A relationship, a job, a habit, a mindset, as if some invisible hand is nudging you toward the next chapter. This is the suspense before the reveal. This is the quiet before the door opens. And whether you believe in astrology as destiny or simply as a mirror for your own intuition, one thing is true. Tonight's sky is asking you to pay attention, because what unfolds over these next few days may be unlike anything you've experienced in years. So take a breath, Capricorn. Let your shoulders drop for just a moment. What's coming isn't something to brace against. It's something to prepare to receive. 2. The universe has been preparing you. Before we talk about what's arriving, we need to talk about what you've already survived. Because the miracle only makes sense once you understand the preparation behind it. Think back over the last year, maybe longer. How many times did a plan fall apart right when you thought it was finally coming together? How many doors closed just as you reached for the handle? How many people walked away when you needed them to stay? At the time, it probably felt like punishment. It probably felt like the universe was testing your patience just to watch you break. But Capricorn, I want you to hear this clearly. None of that was punishment. It was preparation. Every disappointment you've carried was quietly building something in you that comfort never could. Ease doesn't make people wise. Struggle does when we let it teach instead of destroy. And you, more than almost any other sign, know how to turn struggle into structure. You know how to take chaos and organize it into something that eventually holds weight. Think about the job that didn't work out, the one that stung so badly at the time. Did it not eventually push you somewhere better suited to who you were becoming? Think about the relationship that ended in silence, the one that left you questioning your own worth. Did it not, in its own painful way, teach you exactly what you refuse to accept anymore? Every delay had a deeper purpose, even the ones that felt cruel in the moment. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on your readiness. And readiness isn't measured by how badly you want something. It's measured by how much you've grown into someone capable of holding it without it slipping through your fingers again. This is the truth many people never learn. If your breakthrough had come a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you may not have been strong enough to keep it. The version of you that existed back then might have repeated the same patterns, attracted the same wrong people, made the same fearful decisions. But the version of you sitting here right now watching this video is not that person anymore. You are wiser now, quieter but stronger, less naive but more discerning. You've learned who to trust and who to release. You've learned that some closed doors were mercy in disguise, and that wisdom, the kind that can only be earned through hardship, never given freely, is exactly what makes you ready for what's coming. So as we move into the heart of this reading, I want you to release any resentment you're still holding toward your past. Not because the pain wasn't real, it was, but because that pain built the very foundation your miracle is about to stand on. The waiting season is closing, and what comes next was only ever possible because you didn't give up during the wait. 3. Miracle number 1. Financial doors begin opening. Let's talk about the area of life where Capricorn carries the heaviest weight: money, career, security. This is the ground you've built your entire identity on, and it's also the place where you felt the most tested. Under this buck full moon, the energy shifting into your career sector is unmistakable. If you've been feeling stuck, like you're doing everything right but nothing is moving, that stagnant feeling is about to break. Not gradually, not quietly, but in a way that surprises you. The first sign of this miracle is unexpected opportunity. This might come as a message from someone you weren't expecting to hear from, an old colleague, a former boss, a distant connection who suddenly reappears with an offer, an introduction, or a piece of information that changes your direction. Pay close attention to anyone who reaches out to you in the coming days without an obvious reason. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. The second sign is a career breakthrough. And for many of you, this could look like recognition you've been quietly hoping for but never dared to expect. A promotion that finally acknowledges the work you've been doing in silence. A new role that values your discipline instead of overlooking it. A shift that finally matches your effort to your reward. The third sign is money arriving from a source you didn't anticipate. This doesn't always mean a windfall, though for some of you it might. For others, it could be a refund, a return on something you invested in long ago, a gift, an unexpected payment, or an opportunity that pays more than you assumed it would. The theme here is surprise. The universe isn't just closing gaps. It's closing them in ways that remind you it was paying attention the entire time. But perhaps the most important shift isn't financial at all. It's emotional. For so long, Capricorn, you've carried fear around money. Fear of not having enough. Fear of losing what you built. Fear that one mistake could undo years of careful planning. That fear has been exhausting, hasn't it? It's been sitting in your chest like a stone you never asked to carry. Under this full moon, that fear begins to loosen its grip. Not because your circumstances instantly become perfect, but because you begin to trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes. Confidence starts replacing panic. You stop bracing for disaster and start planning for growth. That mental shift alone is a miracle because it's the shift that allows you to actually recognize the opportunities in front of you instead of letting fear talk you out of them. If you've been holding back from applying for something, asking for a raise, starting a business, or making a financial decision you've delayed out of fear, this is your sign. The doors are opening. Walk through them. 4. Miracle number 2. A relationship begins healing. Now we move into the part of this reading that touches something deeper than money, the heart. Because Capricorn, while you're known for your discipline and ambition, very few people understand how much you feel underneath that composed exterior. You don't open up easily. You've been hurt by people who didn't deserve your loyalty. And that pain taught you to build walls that look like strength, but sometimes feel like isolation. So when I say a relationship is beginning to heal, I don't just mean romantically, I mean any bond that matters to you. A parent, a sibling, a friend, a partner, someone whose absence has left a quiet ache you rarely talk about. The first sign of this healing is forgiveness, but not necessarily forgiveness you offer someone else. Sometimes the miracle is forgiving yourself, for staying too long, for leaving too soon, for trusting the wrong person, or not trusting the right one enough. This full moon carries a release energy, Capricorn, and it's asking you to set down guilt you've been carrying that was never fully yours to hold. The second sign is unexpected communication. Someone who went quiet may reach out. A message may arrive from someone you assumed had moved on completely, or someone you never expected to hear from again. This doesn't necessarily mean reunion. For some of you, it may simply mean closure, a final conversation that finally lets you breathe. For others, it may be the beginning of reconciliation you didn't think was possible. The third sign is emotional closure. Even if the person themselves never reaches out, something inside you settles. Questions that have haunted you start to answer themselves. You stop replaying the same conversation in your head at night. You stop needing an explanation you were never going to get. That release, even without their involvement, is its own kind of miracle, because it frees you to move forward without the weight of the past pulling at your ankles. And for those of you in a relationship already, or entering one soon, the fourth sign is the deepening of trust. Not the fragile trust built on hope, but the sturdy trust built on evidence. Actions that finally match words, consistency where there used to be confusion, a partner who shows up in ways that prove they're not going anywhere. Capricorn, you've spent so long protecting your heart because you didn't trust it was safe to open. This full moon is showing you that some people are worth the risk. If there's a specific person on your mind right now, you already know who they are. Pay attention over the coming days. Whether the miracle looks like reunion, closure, or a stronger bond than before, the theme is the same. Your heart is finally being met with the honesty it deserves. 5. Miracle number 3. Your intuition reaches a new level. The third miracle is quieter than the first two, but in many ways it's the most important because it's the one that will guide you through everything that follows. This buck full moon is awakening your intuition in a way you may not have experienced before. Capricorn, you are ruled by logic. You trust what you can measure, plan, and prove. But even the most grounded among us have an inner voice. And lately, that voice has been trying to get louder. The first sign is powerful dreams. Many of you will notice unusually vivid dreams around this full moon. Dreams that feel less like random noise and more like messages. Some may involve people from your past. Some may involve symbols that repeat. Pay attention to how you feel when you wake up, not just what you remember. That emotional residue often carries more meaning than the images themselves. The second sign is repeated synchronicities. You'll think of someone right before they text you. You'll hear the same phrase from 3 unrelated sources in a single day. You'll notice a specific number appearing in ways that feel too consistent to ignore, on a receipt, a clock, a license plate, a notification. These aren't coincidences, Capricorn. They're the universe's way of confirming you're on the right path, even when you can't see the full picture yet. The third sign is a growing sense of being guided. You may find yourself making a decision that doesn't fully make logical sense, yet feels undeniably right. You may feel pulled to reach out to someone, avoid a certain place, or say yes to something you would normally overthink for weeks. This is your intuition finally being heard above the noise of fear and overthinking that usually drowns it out. Learning to trust that inner voice is the final piece of this puzzle, because your miracle may not arrive through logic. It may arrive through a feeling, a pull, a knowing, a moment of clarity that has no explanation except that it's true. This full moon is teaching you that not everything valuable can be proven with evidence. Some things you simply have to trust. 6. The signs you must not ignore. Now that we've covered the 3 miracles making their way toward you, let's talk about how to recognize them in real time, because miracles rarely announce themselves loudly. Most of the time, they whisper. And if you're not paying attention, it's easy to let a whisper pass by unnoticed. The first sign is repeating numbers. If you keep seeing the same sequence, 1111, 222, 333, 444, over these next few days, do not dismiss it as random. These patterns tend to intensify right before a major shift, almost like the universe is counting down to something. The second sign is meaningful coincidence. A song plays at the exact moment you needed to hear its message. A stranger says something that answers a question you've been silently asking. A memory resurfaces right before something related happens in real life. These moments feel too precise to be accidental because they aren't. The third sign is sudden emotional peace. This one is easy to overlook because it doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like relief. A weight lifting for no clear reason. A calm settling over a situation that used to make your chest tighten. If you notice yourself feeling unexpectedly at ease about something that used to consume your thoughts, that's not denial. That's your spirit sensing resolution before your circumstances have even caught up. The fourth sign is unexpected invitations and conversations. Someone may invite you somewhere you wouldn't normally go. A conversation may take an unplanned turn that opens a door you didn't know existed. Say yes more than you normally would during this window, Capricorn. The miracle may be hiding inside an opportunity you almost talked yourself out of. And the fifth sign, the one so many of you have already felt, is a persistent feeling that something big is coming. Not anxiety, not dread. A quiet, steady anticipation, like standing in the stillness right before the door opens. If you've felt that feeling growing over the past few weeks, trust it. It's not your imagination. It's your intuition preparing you for what's already in motion. The universe rarely sends a single obvious sign. It sends a pattern, and patterns are only visible to those paying close enough attention to notice them. 9. The final miracle message for Capricorn. As we come to the end of this reading, I want to leave you with something important to hold on to in the days ahead. Your miracle may not arrive the way you expect. It may not look like the picture you've been holding in your mind for months or years. It may arrive quietly through a conversation, a decision, a shift in perspective, rather than one dramatic moment. Don't let its unfamiliar shape cause you to miss it. Trust divine timing, even when it doesn't match your own. The universe has never been late for you, Capricorn, even during the seasons that felt like abandonment. Every delay had a reason, even the ones you still don't fully understand. The universe rewards patience and courage, and you, more than most, have shown both, even when no one was watching. That effort was never wasted. It was never overlooked. This full moon marks the beginning of a powerful new chapter. Not the end of your story, but a turning point within it. The waiting season is closing. What comes next is yours to receive. If you believe this buck full moon is bringing a miracle into your life, comment "I receive" below and claim this powerful energy. I'd love to know which message resonated with you the most. If this reading inspired you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next Capricorn message from the universe. Remember, sometimes your greatest blessing arrives just after your longest season of waiting. July 29th could be that moment.